What is up, you guys? It is another episode of the Sci-Fly Zone where the multiverse meets a seventh inning stretch. It's Trenton and CJ, and today's destination is taking us back to the World Series because we need to cover games 1 and 2. We finally made it, and oh my gosh, what a historic World Series it has been so far, CJ.
Yeah, man, it's been incredible. I feel like these playoffs have kind of flown by, and we're already in the World Series. But this series has started off very hot. We have had some, like you said, just historic performances. Some historic things happen, and I'm really excited, man. It's going to be a great series, and I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Yeah, and we're already tied up 1-1. It's really crazy how each game has seemingly been so one-sided.
Yeah, it has been two very different games, and I know we'll get into the nitty gritty about the games, but just like talking about it overall, the first game was very important for the Blue Jays because I feel like even though they technically had a better record than the Dodgers, I feel like everybody has been preparing themselves for another Dodgers World Series win, and I mean, dude, game one just showed them like, hey, this is not going to be a walk in the park like some of the other series have been. You are going to have to grind this one out. We're going to make you earn it for sure.
Yeah, and if you're going to do some walking on the bases, it's going to have some consequences because
100%.
when there were some walks, they scored, as we saw for the 11-4 final, and more specifically that 9-run 6-inning. Nice. But, in that inning, we saw for the first time a pinch hit grand slam in the World Series. Addison Barger, I mean, how cool is it to be the first guy to do that?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely incredible. Just a huge moment for him. Easily the biggest at bat of his life, and just coming up huge for his team on a lefty homer as well. Like that's even
There
harder.
were many of those so far
There were
this
several.
series. I feel like lefty is the hardest matchup in Major League Baseball and MLB The Show.
Yeah,
But literally,
yeah,
it's so impressive to see what this Blue Jays offense is capable of. But I mean, it's also crazy to see how much that can change because the following game, we saw Yamamoto throw another complete game, and Yamamoto becomes the first pitcher with complete games in consecutive outings in the postseason since Kurt Schilling had 3 straight in 2001. So that's crazy.
wow. Yeah, I mean it was such an impressive performance. Yamamoto has been looking incredible in the playoffs. He was great during the regular season. Probably going to finish top 5 in Cy Young, but I mean in the playoffs, Yamamoto for the last couple of weeks has been looking as good as he ever has, like since he got over here from Japan. I mean, like you said, 2 consecutive complete games. And think about it, if you count regular season and postseason, he has had 34 starts this year, and he's thrown 200 innings. And these last 2 weeks, he has been the best pitcher in baseball. And he has not been slowing down at all. He has not been getting tired. He has just been grinding it out and just becoming one of the best pitchers in the postseason right now. I mean, it's been incredible to see.
100%. And here's the craziest thing about these complete games. They're the first complete games of Yamamoto's entire career, and they have both come on the road.
Wow.
You literally could not have picked a better time to pull this off.
Yeah, he has been instrumental for the Dodgers' success in the playoffs, and he is a massive reason why they've been able to kind of breeze by a couple of these series. I mean, that Brewers series, they only gave up 4 runs in the entire series. Like,
yeah,
I like the Brewers, and I don't want to upset Brewers fans, but we talk about that Addison Barger grand slam. That one swing scored the same number of runs as the Brewers did in the entire NLCS. So, like, the Dodgers have been pretty dominant, especially the starting pitching has been incredibly dominant so far in the playoffs. So it was definitely big seeing the Blue Jays get to them in that first game. Obviously, more of it was from the bullpen, and we know about the struggles that the bullpen has had. But
yeah,
I mean, it's been great to see.
Yeah, I mean, it also didn't necessarily help that the bullpen had to inherit a bases loaded, nobody out situation, which, we've seen guys get out of it before, but in the World Series against probably the best lineup in the American League, like, that's a really tough situation to get yourself out of. And unfortunately, it seemed like it was worst case scenario.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, you mentioned that they scored 9 runs in that 6th inning, which is the most in a single inning in the World Series since the Tigers scored 10 in 1968. So, I mean, that's been 50, almost 60 years long-standing record. But I mean, yeah, it was just such a huge inning for them. There were a couple guys who had some really big games for them in that game one. In particular, Alejandro Kirk also had a homer later in that same inning, a 2-run homer. He went 3 for 3 on the day with a home run, becoming the first Mexican-born player to hit a home run in the World Series ever, which is surprising to me. Like
Wow.
no one has done that born from Mexico. So I
I'm
mean,
only just finding out now that Alejandro Kirk is Mexican, by the way.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he's been great all season. He's been a great catcher. He's been a top 5 catcher, but like when you have guys like Cal Raleigh and Will Smith doing what they're doing, sometimes he can get a little lost in the shuffle. But he's playing on like the best team in the American League, one of the best teams in baseball, and he's been a huge part of their success.
Yeah, it's really awesome to see. He's definitely made a name for himself in this postseason for sure, and that's really cool to see. But even though they had that great game one, they tied it up in game two with that 5-1 final. Again, Yamamoto just pitching amazing. And Gosman, he didn't do too bad either. He went 6 2/3, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs, got 6 Ks, but 2 home runs by the Dodgers offense. That's just tough.
Yeah, gave up 2 homers to Will Smith and Max Muncy there in the 7th, and uh, that would end up knocking him out of the game. Louis Varland would come in for his 11th appearance in 13 postseason games. I mean, he has just been they've been pitching him as much as possible in the playoffs, seemingly,
Yeah.
and he would get out of the 7th, but he got into a little bit of trouble in the 8th, loading the bases, and then he would get taken out. Jeff Hoffman would come in. He's been great in the playoffs too, but he would immediately throw a wild pitch, allowing a run to score, and then a force out scores another run later in the inning. And I mean, that was plenty of support for Yamamoto. They could have like chilled out after the 2 home runs, and it would have been plenty for them because he
Yeah.
was just incredible.
Yeah, they could have even just left it at one of the home runs and it still
Yeah,
would have been fine.
yeah, man. Like I can't express how important it is for Yamamoto to be doing this right now for his team. Not only because like just you need a guy like that if you're going to be successful in the playoffs. You want a guy who's going to be able to go really deep into the game, but especially considering what we know about the Dodgers bullpen and what we've seen about the Dodgers bullpen several times in the playoffs.
Very streaky, very
Yeah,
streaky. They're
yeah,
either Godhead or 6 feet under.
yeah. You really never know what you're going to get from them. So like the fact that they didn't even have to go to them and they could just go with Yamamoto the whole time was huge for them because they're going to need a lot of rest for the next games coming up.
For sure. Because if they're able to knock out the starting pitching early, then it's going to be harder to rely on the bullpen due to how streaky they are. And also, the Blue Jays offense in the postseason as a team, they're batting 294. They have an 862 OPS as a team. Like, that is an insane offense. And that's including the bench. Like, that's everybody.
Jeez, that's like all-star starter numbers. Like and the team is doing that on average. It's just
Yeah.
absolutely insane.
Yeah, just what's kind of messing up the Blue Jays is their pitching is kind of inconsistent. I mean, their team ERA this postseason is 4.38, so that's a little high, comparative to the Dodgers at 3.06. That's much better. And that's mainly due to, guys like Blake Snell, guys like Yamamoto, guys like Glasnow. They're all doing great as starting pitchers. And even Otani has had 2 decent appearances in the postseason too. So they just need to go really deep with their starters and then just have their bullpen do enough to hold them over. But if the Blue Jays can get hot, it's so hard to put them off. Guys, like 294 team batting average, 862 team OPS. Like, I cannot stress how insane that is for a team average. Like, that's just the average.
That is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, part of what's made the Dodgers so good this year, like in general, is that like incredible starting rotation that they have. Like you mentioned, they have some of the best starting pitchers in baseball. Like if any of their starters in the rotation went to another team, they'd probably be the ace there. And we haven't even mentioned Roki Sasaki yet, who has also been very good in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's converted into a great closer for them. It's been
Yeah,
awesome.
he's been great for them in the bullpen. One of the more consistent guys that they can look to get them out of big situations, go multiple innings. He threw 3 innings in one game against the Phillies, and him getting out of a big situation like that and getting the win for the Dodgers was a huge like tone setter for that series and what would happen with the rest of the series. But I mean, the Blue Jays had their own tone setter in this series in Game 1, man. So I really don't know what's going to happen. I'm very intrigued, but I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. That's why I love baseball. Like, you never know what's gonna happen. You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah,
So, word on the street is Max Scherzer's on the bump.
he is. Yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll take one before the game as well?
Maybe get him a little pregame, maybe.
Yeah, little rosin bag action.
Right? Yeah, it's rosin.
Yeah,
That's what's behind the
exactly.
mound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting is Max Scherzer comparatively to the Dodgers starter, Tyler Glasnow. Career, Max Scherzer is immensely better against the Dodgers than Glasnow is versus the Blue Jays. Hear me out.
Hmm.
Max Scherzer has a 2.38 ERA against the Dodgers in 19 appearances in his career, while Glasnow has a ERA of 5.82 in 11 appearances versus the Blue Jays in his career.
Wow. That is a little surprising to me. That definitely makes it a lot more interesting because I honestly thought that Glass now was going to have the easy advantage going into this game. He has been really good in the postseason as well. He's allowed 1 run in 13 innings. Opponents are hitting 152 against him in the playoffs right now. However, as we mentioned the free bases earlier and taking advantage of that, he has walked 8 batters in 13 innings in the playoffs so far. That's more than one every other inning. So we talk about the Blue Jays being able to take advantage of that. They're definitely going to have to make him pay for those extra bases. And we've seen several times that Blue Jays can put up big innings and score a lot of runs in an inning. So
Yeah, like they really know how to not only like obviously hit long balls to get multiple guys in one swing, but we've seen they can just like single guys to death as well. Like
yeah,
they can do both. It's crazy.
yeah. I mean, you mentioned that 294 batting average and like the 860 OPS. Like there are so many different ways that they can beat you offensively. They can single you to death, like you said. They can load the bases, make you walk in a run, or they can just hit a grand slam.
Mhm.
Also, like, I
Yeah,
mean,
like the Blue Jays have scored 83 runs as a team in the postseason comparatively to the Dodgers 55.
wow, 83. Jeez, I mean, it's been a great showing for them, man. They have really been proving to people that we need to pay attention to them going forward. They are going to be contending for a while, and like I'm pretty sure they finished in last place last year. So like, just seeing what they've been able to do this year and the last year alone has been great to see.
For sure. So honestly, I really have no idea what's going to happen next game as much as I would like to, just because I was kind of in agreement with you where like I was not going to feel as assured about Scherzer as I would about Glasnow, especially the fact that Glasnow is going to be pitching at home in
Mm-hmm.
LA. But career wise, against the opposing teams, Max Scherzer is way better versus the Dodgers than Tyler Glasnow is versus the Blue Jays career wise. So I'm just really curious how much that's going to factor into tomorrow's game.
Yeah. It really puts things into perspective and kind of makes it more of a toss up than I thought it was at one point.
Mhm. My honest opinion, as much as I would like to lie to you guys, um, I think Glasnow is not going to go a full 2 times through the lineup.
Mm,
I think they're going to try and do a bullpen game playing off the mindset of, guys see pitchers better more times through the lineup. And obviously you can vary your approach as how the game goes, because obviously if he happens to be cooking, don't take him out. Let
Let him
the man cook. I'm
yeah,
like Yamamoto. They could have taken him out at some point last night, but they didn't because they knew this man can cook and they
yeah,
let him cook. So if guys are doing their thing, I'm going to let them do their thing. But, just based off these numbers, I think they should be very careful on what they do, because a lot of people were questionable about Dave Roberts' handling of Blake Snell and that whole 6th inning in general. Just a lot of different ideas on what should have happened. Should Snell have even gone into the 6th inning because his pitch count was so high? Should he have been pulled earlier before the bases were loaded? Like there's just a lot of different things going on there. So Dave Roberts he has a lot of things to think about going into this game for sure.
Yeah, 100%. There's a lot of different ways that they could play it, and with Yamamoto's performance in the last game, they have the opportunity to do that bullpen game or
That
take
is true.
Glasnow out if they want a little earlier. Hopefully, a little earlier than they did with Blake Snell. I'm kind of in that camp to think like I don't know if he should have like even gone out to start the sixth inning, considering how high his pitch count was. I think he left the game around like mid 90s for his pitch count. But
Hmm.
I mean, we've seen what happens when you take out Blake Snell too early from postseason games. So maybe he was thinking about that. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways that they could.
That first time was way too
It
early.
was way too early. He was at like 60, 70 pitches. It was unbelievable.
I think he only had like one or two hits given up at the time too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it was pretty immediate that the bullpen gave it up too. I think it was the Dodgers. I'm pretty sure. I think the Dodgers tied it like in in like recording like one out maybe. But yeah, like really interesting to see what's going to happen. I mean, there's going to be a lot of eyes on it. People are going to be curious about what Dave Roberts does, but there's a good chance he's probably going to make a good decision because he has had a lot of success for them in recent years. I mean, he's the first manager to make 5 World Series in his first 10 years. So, like
In his tenure.
in his tenure, yep. Yeah, so it's yeah. I'm very curious to see what happens there.
Yeah, me too. You know, being an Angels fan and then, wanting the Mariners to win and then having the Blue Jays beat them, it's really hard to know what side I'm on right now.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm a bit more on the Blue Jays just because they haven't won in a long time, and
Mhm.
it's always nice to take down the big evil team.
Yeah, the monopoly, the juggernaut.
Yeah, basically. So yeah.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Trey Savage real quick.
Hmm.
He has had such an eventful year. Like I know he didn't get the win in game one, but he still looked good. He gave up only 2 runs in 4 innings. He started this year making his first start at single A in April. He made his double A debut in June. He didn't get to triple A until August, and he made his major league debut on September 15th, which is barely a month ago. And he became the second youngest pitcher to ever start game one of the World Series because he has been really good for them in the playoffs, man. He's had some very, very good showings. So he's just been, um, I'm happy for him. He seems like he's really, really loving it right now. I mean, how could you not like with the success that he's been having? And it has to be such a crazy year that he's been going through right now.
Yeah, man. I couldn't even imagine like starting the year in A ball and then by the end of the year you're starting game one of the World Series.
It's ridiculous. Like that doesn't happen in video games.
No,
I it
no,
takes them.
yeah. You literally can't do that.
You can't do that. Another thing that is pretty cool. We mentioned Addison Barger's grand slam earlier in game one. He slept on his teammate's couch the night before that game. On his teammate's pullout couch the night before game one of the World Series, and he came in with a pinch hit grand slam. And do you know who he pinch hit for? He pinch hit for Davis Schneider, who is the man who let him sleep on his couch. He slept on Davis Schneider's couch and then pinch hit for him the next day and hit the first pinch hit grand slam in World Series history.
That's pretty cool.
It's so good, man. And obviously, you know how superstitious baseball players are. He would do it. He slept on the couch that same night too. He did it again, even though he
Yeah.
didn't have to. I mean, if there are no superstitious people in the world, baseball is dead.
Yeah.
That's really it. So, I mean, it's been such an eventful series already. We're only 2 games in, and there's going to be so much more excitement going on. I'm really looking forward to it.
Same, dude. It's been an awesome World Series and I can't wait to see how it turns out.
Yeah, me too.
So, that has been today's episode of the Sci-Fly Zone, where the multiverse meets the seventh inning stretch, and we'll definitely be covering the next games of the World Series on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. And if you guys have any other topics that you want us to talk about, baseball related, baseball related, Marvel or DC related, any just sci-fi stuff in general, feel free and we'll be happy to talk about it. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.